these anti-Semitic attacks that is so permeating on CNN and MSNBC.
This is so ridiculous. Somebody criticizing you personally is not an anti-Semitic attack. If somebody says that you are lying, that is not an attack on Jews, that is an attack on you.
I cannot believe that I'm agreeing with a progressive hack right now. What is going on with me? I even posted on my community board that I'm going to vote for Mandani, and I'm a conservative. Realistically, Mandani is a story I don't care about because I want to talk about the rise of anti-Semitism. Kind of, just my observation more than anything. And it's fun and hopefully quick because my last video apparently was too extreme and only got 21 views. I suck.
Here's to show.
Piers Morgan had a really interesting debate recently that went off the hinges. Real quick, Piers Morgan is, in my opinion, this generation's Jerry Springer. And if you don't know who Jerry Springer is, then I'm old and you're just out of touch. But think of a talk show where people from literally various backgrounds come and debate, but also are allowed to beat the living hell out of each other.
Apparently, they're both fighting over you in a sense. What do you want to say to him?
What's going on? Like, are you with me or not? Because I kept it 100 with you. I feel like maybe you ain't doing the same. Let me know what's going on.
I'm gonna be 100 with you, baby. We did hook up last Wednesday, cooking for
They also had rage bait segments like Piers Morgan. Take a look.
The name Adam
rape, rob, and
means to show ruddiness in the face. Can you see any ruddiness in the over here?
Ruddy, what did ruddy mean? This dummy don't even know what ruddy means.
No, what does the word mean?
What does ruddy mean? You dumb.
Basically,
they don't know how to read the Bible.
It's crazy that we were more progressive in the 90s, right? Black Hebrew Israelites dressed up like Mortal Kombat characters versus the KKK dressed like medieval wizards. And guess what? The audience was even more progressive than today's audience.
Black women, let me speak, okay? Now, I'm gonna tell you, you hollering and you going with that Bible. See, I'm not gonna even go over here because we know this plain stupidity.
Intellectual morons.
But I'm gonna tell you one thing. You talking about your Bible and everything, but isn't it? Don't you always say the Bible's made by the white man? So why'd you quote
we don't say that. We don't say that.
No.
Beginning of the Bible, it says, in the beginning, God created man in his own image. That means me, and everybody else. So you can't just you are sitting up there, two stupid looking groups, sitting up in costumes who look like you should be at a circus and trying to represent the black man. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Everybody needs to realize in this whole room is that Jesus said, love one another as I have loved you. Everybody forgets that. No matter what race you are, no matter what sex you are, no matter what religion you are, he has laid that out. And whether you believe in Jesus, that's another thing. Love one another as I have loved you. You can look it up in any Bible.
Good times. Good times. That's the progressiveness I could get behind. Well, now we are 20-some years removed from that, and we've regressed in many social areas, and anti-Semitism has become the latest fad that just won't go away. This is Stephen Miller. He is the Homeland Security Advisor for the Trump administration. This weird-looking guy managed to get this beautiful Jewish chick to marry him. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, right? Back on topic. Well, Stephen Miller's wife, Katie Miller, recently appeared on Piers Morgan, and it went as well as you think it did. Not at all. You see, ever since October 7th, anti-Semitism became the new racism, the new fascism, the Nazism. And what I mean is the word has been thrown around as much as Bonnie Blues. So much that it doesn't have meaning anymore because anyone who apparently disagrees with how Israel's government handled Gaza, they were stamped with the anti-Semitism label. There are levels to this, of course, okay? You got the Candace Owens, who I'm not a fan of anymore, 20 plus hours covering your friend's death with unsubstantiated claims is a bit weird to me.
Weird.
And she was being deemed anti-Semitic because every one of her stories she ties to some Jew in history or an institution that's ran by Jews or a business that happens to be ran by a Jew. Do I think she's anti-Semitic? Not really. Dave Smith, who's been outspoken about the war and was also deemed anti-Semitic, even as a Jew himself, and I don't see it. In fact, you should actually check out his debate with Coleman Hughes. I think Coleman actually poked a lot of holes in Dave's views, but he isn't anti-Semitic. Then you got Tucker Carlson, who's also been deemed anti-Semitic because he brought on a nun with a mustache that explained her experience in Gaza and Israel. And he also embarrassed Ted Cruz with his understanding of the Bible.
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of it, says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use it.
It's in Genesis. So you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it. You don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two...
Hold on. Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But hold on. Define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
And so is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation God's referring to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Then we got the boogeyman himself, Nick Fuentes, who began asking questions about the state of Israel to only get blacklisted, which 100% turned him into an anti-Semite.
Hitler alone, with, not a lot of help from the Italians, I hate to admit, Hitler alone stood against the communists on one side, the communist Jews on the one side, the capitalist Jews on the other, literally a two-front war. The Soviets, the French, the British, the Americans, and almost won.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Basically, if you mention Israel, you were called an anti-Semite. And for the average person who doesn't have a dog in this fight or who's on the sidelines just seeing how this all unfolded here in our cush, comfortable homes, drinking lattes and not worried about being bombed, we somehow got consumed with a war outside of our country that involves one of our closest allies. I have never, and I mean I have never seen so many protests fighting for human rights as they step over to homeless people on the street. Amazing.
Our beliefs anger us, and it's as simple as that.
But I get it. Virtue signaling heroes, we need those. But I'm not here to talk about the real issues. I'm here to talk about speech. Ever since October 7th, people have been getting labeled as anti-Semites whether you were or were not. Early on, I kept telling my friends and family members to stop feeding into this nonsense. People began to be afraid to say anything about Israel. Hell, policies were being shaped based on anti-Semitism. It was very strange. But because the label was thrown around so much and everyone's being accused of being an anti-Semite, we somehow actually turned people into being anti-Semitic.
No.
Like, have you been on X recently? Just saying. I didn't see it before, but I definitely see it now. I don't know if it's because Trump and Elon had beef, so Elon maybe just removed that barrier and was like, go for it, my anti-Semites.
You Jewish?
Have you walked downtown in D.C.?
You are killers! If you fire, we will cut you! If you fire!
Or spoken to some of the protesters?
So are you out protesting or are you just observing?
I'm protesting, but a lot of this is just like occupying at this point. It's like
just showing up.
Yeah, a lot of what I do is kind of.
Can I film you?
What's that?
Can I film you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
That's fine. A lot of what I do, though.
It's as if we created anti-Semites through their right becoming kind of like Karens.
Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene is holding up the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act because she wants to be able to say that Jews killed Jesus.
Which we were making fun of for the past 8 years.
Just call me a dirty Jew.
Israel is the largest terrorist entity. No, nobody said that. You're the only one who says it. You're the sickest.
What happened?
Why is it that every time someone wants to criticize Mamdani, it immediately comes back to the Jews and the anti-Israel movement instead of actually talking about his viewpoints, which is that he wants to make...
Nobody said Jews. You just said it. You always do that. We say Israel, you say Jews. We say Israel is a government. Please don't make it about Jewish Americans. And you come back and go, you have to make it about Jewish Americans. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Is Israel a Jewish state? Yes or no?
Yeah. First of all, Okay, so Saudi Arabia is a Muslim state, and you can criticize it all day long, all day long. There's no special protection
because
for
what you're
Muslims,
doing is
Jews,
you're decoding language
anyone that
to
calls
attack
themselves
American
a Jewish state or a
and to
Muslim
say that we
state.
should not be here and we should not be in existence, and that you would be happy for other people like
No,
Mandani to use
I want Israel to be safe.
Nothing of the sort.
Nonsense. You're totally lying. It's very normal for a Miller to be completely and utterly lying.
12 seconds later.
I will just say this, Piers, this is my last time on this program. If you're going to invite open anti-Semitics to participate on your platform and not call it out for what it is, which is anti-Semitism.
I just called it out.
My point is you're inviting him back, giving him the air.
What more do you want me to do?
Spew his hatred toward people like myself, toward people like my children, toward people like my family. And again,
when I'm siding with Cenk from Young Turks, then we have a problem. Take a look.
Katie.
No, Piers, quite frankly, I'm really sick and tired of this racist, bigoted rhetoric that comes from people like you against my husband, against my family, and my children. I am raising Jewish children in this country.
Who brought your
in which
children
you
into this? What a weirdo.
Piers, I'm going to be done with this if you're going to allow racist and bigoted attacks against one of your commentators just for the sake that he will not
hang on.
speaking.
Casey, to be clear, he inserted
a line that says the Miller's lie. Is that not coded language for therefore we are Jewish? Come on, Piers, where are you? What? Where are you standing for this?
God, you're so
Katie,
pathetic.
if I can
2 hours later.
So these are big picture issues that will come out of a Mamdani victory. But from your perspective, Katie, what is your fundamental opposition to Mamdani becoming New York mayor?
I want to start off with, do you agree when your guest says that the Millers always lie? Because that's what your guest on your show just said, is that the Millers always lie.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Is again the same reason why people on your show, instead of arguing the merits, as you say, of his opinions, they're going to sit here and use attacks on my husband and myself instead of debating us on our values and our opinions. It is gross, it is racist, and it is bigoted. And I will not join your show again if you
Your values
speak to that
suck. That's what I'm debating.
This is so ridiculous. Yeah.
So Israel does not get a pass on committing another genocide because Jewish people suffered the Holocaust. What happened in the Holocaust was disgusting.
You don't get a pass for calling
it was
them
horrible. Hold on. So what happened in the Holocaust and all the pogroms,
Yeah, you heard that right. If you didn't catch it, try and pay attention to what Katie Miller said right here.
So what happened in the Holocaust and all the pogroms were disgusting. That doesn't mean that.
This is why women like powerful men, and this is why men love beautiful women. She can use her husband's power, and he looks good by having a trophy wife. It's a win-win situation. It completely makes sense. Let's continue.
Somebody criticizing you personally is not an anti-Semitic attack. If somebody says that you are lying, that is not an attack on Jews, that is an attack on you. And just stop hiding behind identity. This is all the snowflake behavior that the right is supposedly criticizing the left for, that you're simply repeating here. Yes, Stephen Miller is a destructive force in American society. That is not an attack on Jews. That is no reference to his identity. This is an attack on him individually, and just deal with the merits of this case. And also when it comes to Mamdani,
again
went to the state of Israel.
Of people, no, I'm sorry. The state of Israel is not identity politics. That is a foreign government that is engaged in genocide and war crimes. And we're allowed to criticize that without you pulling identity politics into this. It is utterly unrelated.
This guy is a political progressive hack, and he has a point. Here's the thing. Do I think she was being serious? No. This is what happens when you lose a debate. You end up resorting to threats, name-calling, or public meltdowns.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not gonna do what you all think I'm gonna do, which is just flip out!
I've never seen Katie Miller on any other shows debating, and Piers Morgan's show is all about showing the extremes. And Cenk is a regular on this show. What was that? What's my opinion on Cenk? I think Cenk is intolerable to listen to because he has this uncontrollable meltdowns and outbursts that a 50-some-year-old man shouldn't have.
The sick sons of bitches that called us terrorists when it was Israel attacking.
Okay.
I grew out of that phase when I was in my teens. But just because I don't agree with him doesn't mean you should threaten this person to be deported. She literally gave liberals ammunition. Not even a bullet, a full-fledged M16 magazine filled all the way to the top. You know, when at the last bullet you have to pushed down really hard and kind of hurts your thumb. We tend to create monsters and ideas that go viral and seep into the mental state of people's chosen reality. How many people do you think saw this clip and immediately got concerned because it confirmed their suspicion and or their predisposed idea? Probably a lot. Does this make this administration look bad? Yes, it does. Stephen Miller's wife made Stephen Miller look bad. We didn't have to wait for his boring, soulless eyes. Because now you have more and more people believing that we are just a shill for the Israelis and we would do whatever it takes, including suppressing the speech of our own citizens for a foreign nation. Are we really not seeing how we actually are creating anti-Semites who will begin to be suspicious of Jews? It could be the mom and pop kosher bakery down the street, and someone will believe that that person is Mossad.
I spy with my little eye someone who needs to shut the hell up.
I have a solution though. We all need to recognize that the real solution isn't to ban or shame speech, but to confront bad ideas with better ones. You don't fix anti-Semitism by labeling everyone who questions the government's action as a bigot, and you don't fix ignorance by silencing it. You fix it by debating it, exposing it, and letting the truth do the heavy lifting. But then again, CK did get murdered for doing that exact same thing, so... When everyone becomes afraid to talk, the loudest voices become the most extreme. I really feel like we saw that with this last election. That's how we end up with a movement built on resentment instead of reason. If you genuinely want to reduce anti-Semitism, stop making it taboo to criticize Israel policies and start distinguishing between hate for a people and a disagreement with the government. First and foremost, those two things are not the same. The right needs to stop acting like wounded martyrs every time they get challenged, and the left really needs to stop branding every challenge as hate speech. It is possible to defend Jewish people without defending every act of the Israel state, and it's possible to support Palestinians without supporting Hamas. I don't know why this is so hard and why people just can't say that out loud in public forums or on Piers Morgan. The world is complex, but we keep forcing it into this cartoon simplicity. Heroes and villains, oppressed and oppressors, saints and sinners. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Real free speech means defending the speech you hate, not the speech you like. It means arguing, not censoring. And it means realizing that the minute you start controlling language, you're not protecting anyone. You're just building a softer kind of tyranny in a generation full of weak, pussified people. So my solution, let people talk. Let the ideas clash. Let dumb opinions get roasted in the open. Why do you think I put myself out there? I don't mind getting roasted, because the only thing more dangerous than bad speech is not supporting a creator by smashing the subscribe button. And if you don't do that, well, you clearly are an anti-Semite.